Good evening.
So another eventful week being a Blue Nose. 2 more games played and 4 points picked up. 2-1 win over Stevenage last Tuesday, followed by a 1-1 draw and probably the most bizarre own goal we've ever scored in our entire history. Claire, give us your thoughts on both games. Obviously, we was all there last Tuesday. I believe you was there on Saturday as well.
Yeah, I think so. Stevenage game was quite good.
Yeah, especially first half.
Yeah, we absolutely bossed it first half. It was nice to see Dow score the penalty. It was nice to see Pake get a goal as well. So congratulate him on his first goal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very easy game. We took our foot off the pedal. Do you think we could have had some more opportunities? Do you think we do need to test the keeper a little bit more?
Yeah.
I think that we went for it the first half, and then again, it was just trying to work the ball, trying to create an opportunity. And then obviously they scored quite a good goal, actually, in the 94th minute. And then Saturday, again, I just think it was another game too far. We were really slow. They wanted it more. It was a typical Kevin Nolan team performance. The pitch was quite small, I found, quite bubbly as well. Wasn't great. Some of our players, I don't think turned up. I don't think Willem turned up at all. I do find Dow's good on the right, but I do think we lack pace when we haven't got Laird there as well. I think you can't have Samson and Dow playing at the same time. Really miss Laird with the out balls. Obviously, the first goal, they were really high pressing. They've done what other teams have done to us before, where especially on a goal kick, they were marking man to man. And I mean, it was windy. Just boot it forward. Willem was free half the time. Just get it forward. It was unfortunate because, it was a goal that probably, we wouldn't normally concede, but it was coming, to be fair. I had no problem with them scoring because it was coming. They deserved that goal. I found that when we broke their lines and when we broke the high press, we moved it forward, but I think some of our passing wasn't great either. And I mean, Clara's cross for Anderson, cracking header, fantastic goal, unstoppable. But again, second half, we picked it up. We need to start taking our chances. I think that's a big thing now because especially as we're going into the championship, we're going to have to start taking our chances. We're not going to get so many chances again. We're going to need to start being a bit more clinical. I mean, Jay's went wide, Pake's went wide. I mean, Willem's header, he's 6'5". Please just header the ball, hit the target. And then Alfie May again, not a lot of confidence, and it's straight at the keeper. But it was a very cold day, and it took me half an hour to get out the car park. So it took me longer than some of the away games that we normally do. But I think we all need a break. I think we need a break. I think the fans need a break. I mean, it's been non-stop.
Yeah.
So I'll take it as a point still away from home. We'll always take that. Obviously, the Wrexham-Wycombe result wasn't brilliant, but at least Wycombe play, I think, tomorrow, or Wrexham play tomorrow against, I think it's Wrexham against Rotherham tomorrow.
Wycombe.
Yeah, so again, we'll see whereabouts we are. We've still got a massive gap. I just think that we just need to be a bit more clinical, especially against the lower sides. As soon as they get a goal, they sit back in their block, and then that's it. But fair play, they were quite good defensively, but we just didn't have anything. But 4 points, top of the league, massive gap, international break, have a rest, and then I can't wait for Shrewsbury because I think we're going to come out there and get revenge on the defeat we had.
Yeah, one thing I do find fascinating, and Mark Meredith, I'll come on to you as a coach. I mean, Stano seems to have given up penalties, doesn't he, to Dowell? And he didn't really, he missed one recently against Cambridge, but I say missed, it was well saved. But other than that, he's put every one of them away, hasn't he? So do you find it a bit bizarre that he's just passed the duty over to Dowell, and obviously he'd be getting his numbers up, even more, wouldn't he, if he hadn't done that?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a strange one because I think he only gave the ball to Dowell on the penalty against what was the first one, the home game?
Yeah,
Wycombe.
Yeah, I gave it to Dow because of there was a rumor around the goalkeeper playing with him at Exeter. The goalie was giving him some stick, obviously, before the penalty was taken. So I think that was a bit of a smart move from him.
Yeah.
I think as he's seen Dow put one in the top corner, it was a little bit difficult then to say, right, I'm having the ball back when you get it in the next game. So I don't think it was actually planned. I think it was just one of those things. And I think Jay would be the first person to step back up if he was asked, or if Dow did miss one and then they needed somebody else. So yeah, I wouldn't think it was something that the manager or anybody said, listen, you're not taking him anymore. He's the penalty taker.
Yeah.
I think he probably left it with him, and it was a little bit of slice of luck for Dow. But man, he put both penalties away very cleanly. It reminded me of when Pearce used to take the penalties for us. It was, most of his penalties he took were clean and easy. And two we've had from him have been the same. And again, I don't care who takes them as long as they end in the back of the net.
No, absolutely. And I've got this shirt on tonight for a damn good reason, because yesterday brought back so many special memories. And I don't know about you guys, but, it just felt great, didn't it? Seeing one, an English manager win a trophy finally, and two, a club that's not won anything for 70 years. We didn't go that long, but it felt special, didn't it, at that final whistle? It just brought it all back, didn't it, Craig?
I got back from the ladies' game and caught the second half of the game, and I actually managed to catch a goal on the phone on the way back on the train, and then second half at home. But it was just like, you looked at the stadium, the noise that the Newcastle fans were making, the atmosphere that they generated, and takes you back to that game ourselves where, again, the underdog goes into the game where everybody's like, no, we're going to write them off. Everybody was like, Liverpool this, Liverpool that, the bookies, odds on money for them to do it, the same as it was with Arsenal. But actually, the team that wanted it the most for me on the day came out and took the result. And how great is it to see, players that have in the past represented Birmingham coming up with fantastic performances, man of the match performance first of all, as well as the goal. Also, congratulations on the call up to the England squad as well. And this is a guy that we all watched and thought, is he going to be any good? And there was a lot of negativity around him, but my God, he has come on leaps and bounds, and it was brilliant. And from a fan's perspective, it's always great to see the underdog win anyhow. But I've got to say, I was really, really chuffed for the Geordie fans, because I think they're a huge, huge club, and actually not too dissimilar to ourselves. We have a fan base that's equally as passionate. And yes, they've got a bigger stadium and get a few more people, but there's nothing saying we could never replicate that. And it was just nice to see them take it away and have the celebrations like we did back in 2011. And it just was. It was ice. And to see the fans and the players in tears also shows you how much it means to them, because you don't see that from the likes of the Liverpools, the Man U's, the Man Cities that have won it in the past few seasons. To them, that's a piece of silverware. Jobs are good and happy days. That meant something to the Newcastle players. Yeah, and that's your thing to take away.
Yeah, they've waited such a long time for it, haven't they? And so did we when we won it. I mean, the sort of odds on Newcastle winning yesterday were nowhere near as high as obviously us against Arsenal.
No.
But on the day they thoroughly deserved it, and Lee Clark as well. Let's not forget Lee Clark, our former manager, obviously Geordie born and bred, and massive Newcastle United fan, and obviously former player as well. So
I actually messaged Lee after, congratulated him, and as you put on there, well done to the Geordie boys. It's great to see them win it. His reply back was plain and simple, thanks, that'll be you guys in 4 weeks, and then KRO. And this is a guy that's Newcastle through and through, but he's still saying,
he's still got a soft spot.
We're going to do the same thing in 4 weeks. You know what I mean? That's just brilliant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, congratulations to Newcastle United on their success yesterday. And obviously Dan Burn, as you say, on his England call-up and getting that first goal. And he's one of the nicest footballers I've ever met as well. When he was at Blues, he came to visit my daughter when she was in hospital with, quite a few of the lads at the time, 2013 Christmas, and he was really, really come across really well and really nice. Well, he was a lad then, wasn't he? He was like 22, 23. So he's, like you say, he's come on leaps and bounds, and he fully deserves his England call up as well. Also want to say happy St. Patrick's Day as well to all our Irish followers and viewers as well.
Everybody's Irish today, fool.
Oh, no.
Everybody was in Irish. I'd say it was Irish in Birmingham yesterday. I absolutely love it when it's St. Patrick's weekend, because it doesn't matter where you go. There's a great atmosphere. They're outside the pubs. Everybody's laughing and joking. And, it's the one time of year where you can go out, people get absolutely wasted, but you never see any hassle. And I think that's just brilliant.
I'm almost jealous, Craig, because we don't do anything.
We don't do it.
No,
I agree.
George's Day. We need to celebrate St. George's Day and make a bigger fuss of it than what we do.
They do quite a good one in Solihull, don't they? Solihull parade.
They do the parade, but I think that whole gathering of getting people together and celebrating is just immense. And it is just one complete party. I mean, the Digbeth, every pub in Digbeth was rammed. They were out in the streets, singing and dancing. Marquees out in the streets to serve you beer. I mean, you don't get that for St. George's Day. Why not? We should be doing exactly the same thing. I totally agree, Paul.
Yeah, 100%. So, So, Alan, your thoughts on the two games, mate? Obviously, Stevenage at home. I take it. Did you come up for that, or was you watching it from
I watched it down. So I was well pleased with that. But from the 94th minute of that game to the 94th minute of Saturday, it was very, very, very disappointing. I agree with everything that Claire said. The reasons why it was disappointing, but it was disappointing. I thought about it. I know. I mean, Craig put a message on about negativity, and I understand that. But we've what did we plan to do at the start of the season? Is win the league, full stop, and then we got the cups mixed in with it, and we did, particularly obviously the cup winning the final two. We got there with the second team, and so we're now expecting to break the record. Now, the way we're playing at the moment, we ain't going to do that, and that's disappointing. I know I'm being greedy, but we've done everything that we really expected to do. Okay, we might lose the final. We might not win another game before the end of the season. But we're now looking forward to breaking this record. And personally, I don't want to break it by one. I want to break it by enough so it's never got close to again. And that's what, that's why I showed my disappointment on Saturday, because, we're not as good as we were 6 weeks ago. And there's and we all know the reasons for that, but it's so disappointing.
Do you think that we're not as good out? Or is it that teams actually have started coming at us and they've got more to fight for? Because we're playing the teams. We've played the teams at the top and we've beaten them, and we've beaten them well. We're playing the teams at the bottom who they're doing an us. This is what we've had to do for seasons before this one, where we've been scrapping for our lives and having to go up, not one level or two levels, but sometimes three levels. And I just think they're doing the same. They're just nullifying what we need to do. And yes, I'm not condoning Saturday. I think it was a poor performance across the board. There wasn't one player for me that stood out as being absolutely fantastic. It was a great finish for the goal, but apart from that, we had opportunities which we didn't put away, and I just think that that's what we're going to see now over the next few games. I don't think it'll be any different.
Exactly, and you're absolutely right. That's what we're going to see for the next. Certainly, we've got 6 away games, right? And every one of those is going to be like Saturday, and we've got to overcome that. Now,
we will.
Well, you probably don't remember this, but the month or a couple of weeks before the 95 final, we went to Peterborough, right? Barry Fry was still our manager then, not Peterborough's. Peterborough prepared the most awful pitch you ever seen. They never cut it. They just marked it out. They never rolled it. They never put any water on it. It was like a cobbled street. And we finished up drawing the game 1-1. And that's what we got. That's what we got on Saturday. We got a windy game. Pitch was awful, and they stopped us playing. We wiped the floor. I was watching the girls on Sunday rather, and I looked at the pitch and I thought, this is like a billiard table. The girls played wonderful football, and Southampton didn't do too bad. But we've only got four games on that pitch. The rest of the time, we're going to be playing on rubble because every team won't let us play. I remember going to Villa Park to see and play Barcelona. They did exactly the same. The pitch was a disgrace, right? And they were playing Barcelona with Johan Cruyff in. And you know what the Barcelona players did? They passed the ball 6 inches off the deck all the game. They didn't let it. No, that's the sort of adaptation we've got to do.
We couldn't pass the parcel on Saturday. I'm not going to lie. We couldn't pass at all.
No.
I think they're just ready for this break now. Let's have a good rest and
I agree with that as well. And as Claire said, I'm ready for the break. I'm tired of getting either going to Birmingham or Saturday I didn't get out of bed until the game had finished, to be brutally honest. So I wasn't under any pressure. But I was so, goodness me. And thankfully, Sunday's matches, the Old Firm game and the League Cup final was so wonderful. It sort of lifted my spirits that, the game could be played properly on proper surfaces with proper people playing the game. And again, the underdogs won twice. Wonderful. But Saturday, what else did I watched Peterborough before our game come on. Oh, dear me. Yeah. That was shocking. And their pitch was a rubble.
Yeah. I fancy us to win 6 out of the next 10. I think we can do that. And then I think we'll pick up a couple of more points here and there as well away from home. I think we'll win all our home games that we got left. And then obviously, like you say, the 6 away games. But, there's 30 points to play for. So, let's use that now as motivation for the rest of the season to beat Wolves' record. And hopefully Reading, was it Reading as well in the Championship, was it? The 100?
Reading owned the record, 106 points.
106
that's the overall record that...
Yeah, if we can...
we should beat the Wolves one, and we should beat the Reading one.
Yeah.
However, I'd still look at it this way, there's 30 points to play for, but every team's going to come at us hell for leather. And the worst time for us, when we've been promoted, because we can't afford to take the foot off the pedal. We've got to continue.
They couldn't score Saturday, could they? We had to do it for them. You know what I mean? And coming back onto that, it got me thinking of, me, I like my stats and all my questions, and I can't think of any other own goals we've ever scored. Can anyone think of it? Not the most great topic of conversation, but can anyone think of an own goal we've ever scored before?
Yeah, Ricky Otto won his debut.
God, yeah.
Best header you'll ever see going into the Tilton.
I think Bellick scored one last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did.
Preston, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You forget, don't you?
Do you remember Alex Ferguson getting very upset because people were giving his team a hard time and they weren't bothering with whoever they were playing? And he moaned about it. So you'd think the world would come to an end when they're playing us. But, when they play whoever it was, Newcastle was up there at the time, wasn't it? They don't put the same effort in. Well, that's what we've got now, isn't it? Why do Northampton's, what was their motivation? I know they're down the bottom, but they're 12 points away from the bottom of relegation. And, come on, give us a game.
Everybody,
they won't, will they? They won't.
Everybody's motivation in this division is to beat us, isn't it?
Or not lose to us.
Yeah.
It's like an FA Cup game to them, isn't it? Really, it's like an FA Cup game.
What do you think, Rome? Are we going to beat 3 points?
Sorry, Paul, what was that? Sorry.
Do you think we're going to do it? Beat 103 points?
I think we will. I mean, like I say, I think we'll win all the home games. I know we keep going on about we're going to smash someone, but I'm not convinced that'll happen now.
No,
because things are really heating up. But if we win, if we get to that barrier, scraping all the games 2-1, 1-0, that'll do. I mean, ultimately, the main thing's having that silver trophy at the end of the season for winning the league. That's motivation. Yeah. And I think obviously we're going to get it. Quick word about Wembley though. I just can't wait now to go there myself after seeing that yesterday. It just really whet the appetite. I know it sounds corny, but yeah, I just can't wait now. I think Stevenage last week was more or less like a training game at times. It was like a friendly almost. It was like a first round of the League Cup. It was weird. It's frustrating though because if we do raise our bar, we can score 2 or 3 goals, but we just seem to just about do enough.
Do you think that's a tactic, Robe? Do you think that he goes when you get 2-0 up?
I don't know.
I do it because it seems to be every game, doesn't it?
It's almost like we're conserving energy for some reason instead of just going all out, battering someone. I mean, going back to Saturday, I think that was the poorest display of the season. To be fair, I think it was absolutely awful.
Shrewsbury away was worse than that.
It was definitely worse than that. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, sorry, second worst than.
Get it right.
We did score 2 goals against Shrewsbury. We know we're going to score 2 goals against Northampton. It was playing them now.
Shrewsbury was horrendous.
Yeah.
We couldn't do anything.
No.
But to be honest, that was on the cards, the sort of goal we conceded. I mean, we've been doing it the last few weeks, many weeks, just passing around like that. It's just sheer heart attack football, isn't it?
They're just an irritating team, Northampton, aren't they? I mean, we've gifted them a goal at home. We passed the ball bloody to them to score at home after Sanderson the bounce, and then, we scored 4 of them on their own ground as well. I mean, what else do we want to do? Make a cake and deliver it to them?
They've turned into a right bogey team, haven't they?
Yeah. We just seem to gift them, don't we, every time we play them?
Well, we were their cup final because they had their highest attendance since 1987 against us, apparently.
There you go.
Yeah, how much was it, 7,000 or something?
Yeah, about between 7,000 and 8,000, and then it was like, well done for the attendance. This is the most since 1987. We were like, what?
I can't even count that far, to be honest.
It was a record for the ground, wasn't it? Because that ground hasn't been open.
No.
And we might as well count the people on the hill as well, because there was about 30, 40 people on the hill.
So funny. To see, old school. And I wanted it to rain just so that I could then start seeing people slide down the hill as well, because you knew that at some point that would come if it happened.
It would have snowed. It was that cold if it rained. It was that cold. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
We need let's hope it's a nice sunny day at Wembley when we go.
But no, I think 4 points out of the last 6. It's not a disaster, but we do need to improve and we do need to increase our performance. And like you said earlier, Claire, start taking our chances more, and also creating more as well. And, he's put Mansfield straight back in and, up front. And I don't know if he's 100% yet. Is he quite from the injury against Bradford? But,
I think
he's still carrying. I think there's probably, if truth be known, a few players out there that are still carrying injuries.
Yeah.
And perhaps we're just battling through what we've got at the moment. But, just to put it out there, as and when it's done and dusted, all right, if we've got 4 games, for example, to go until the end of the season and everything's done and dusted, would you swap it about? Would you play the youngsters? Would you give them a go? Or actually, do we just stick with it and go, do you know what? We want to score as many points as we possibly can, as many goals, and we go for it. Because I'm the second option. Whereas I have heard people say, we've got to look for next season. Let's try some of these youngsters and see if they're capable. Well, if they're not capable in Division 1, to me, as harsh as it sounds, it rolls them out of the Championship as well. Because You've got to bed in for me in the lower divisions before you go up. There's always an exception. You always look at the players that have done it differently. So the Bellinghams, they didn't go out on loan. They just came straight in. They gave it a go. But they were an exception. They're an exception to the rule.
Bellingham's a generational thing that comes along.
Yeah.
You know.
The question I would ask those people who said that, give me some names. Name names. Who are you going to put in? Give me a name.
There ain't anybody.
Yeah, Alan's in the Sweeney.
Eh?
Do you know what it is though? I think it's a shame because we've always had youngsters in the squad.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened to my
We haven't now.
And the thing is like, you know, Jordan Jameses came through, the Bellinghams came through. Who's the next one? Because we're going to need it at some point. I mean, Man United, I watched them yesterday after the final. I mean, they've got an injury crisis, but I mean, the youngsters that they brought on were quality. Like they played really well. Just we were so known to having one of our own, and now that's
the next big thing for me to come through those teams when we think about the youngsters that are playing. And I wouldn't be surprised one little bit if he's not part of our squad next season, is young Mr. Tatum, because not only is he scoring goals, but his work rate and setup across that team has also been phenomenal. And Fraser Higgins just said the same thing. Frank Tatum.
Did he score the weekend? Did he score the weekend, Tatum?
No, I don't. He played, but he didn't
He
score.
played, didn't he? Yeah.
He didn't score, but he was. I think he was involved in one, if not two, of the goals.
A lot of the sort of the kid. Is it Beteka?
Beteka, yeah, Beteka, yeah. I was going to say him.
He's been in the squad, hasn't he?
Yeah, he came on.
Been in the squad. Yeah. Well, okay, there it is. We've got two names now. Now, I wouldn't argue about giving them place in the squad, certainly. But there isn't, there isn't. We can't put five in because there ain't five. There ain't five. The team they're playing in is not very successful.
So we've got Ramel Donovan as well at Brentford on loan, and he's going to come back, isn't he? I would have thought.
Would you give Mayo? What Mayo? Would you give Mayo?
Yes, I'd have the goalkeeper. Yeah. I think he's a good goalkeeper. His problem is he's 5'10". That's they can't do anything about that. He's got to be a very, very, very good goalkeeper to make it at the top level, being that height. Now, not every goalkeeper in the world is 6 foot plenty, but he's a youngster who's 5'10", not a 28-year-old who's got 150 games behind him. And he's 5'10".
Mark Meredith, when you was at the club, obviously, I know it was Premier League days back end, wasn't it? And the start of obviously Chris Hughton, etc., and all that. But we did have a few academy players in the squad, didn't we, back then? But it's going to get harder and harder, though, isn't it? The better and better we get, and the more we spend, it's going to get harder for any academy products to get in, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem. It's down now, and most clubs now buy people in. So a lot of these academy players are finding it hard. We're getting to the stage this time now during the year where a lot of these academy players are being released from their contracts, because I think it's the next week or so when they're told by their clubs if they're going to get renewed or not renewed, and it ain't worth giving these kids another year if your future looks like they're never going to get in there. So more and more of them are being released and going to so-called smaller clubs, which is good for them because at least they'll get to play. But we were in desperate need of them last year, weren't we? At times, and it just shows how we've changed as a club, that we don't have to call upon any of them now. And I don't think, I agree with all of you. I don't think there's one of them there that you would call upon in front of anybody that we have in the squad right now.
No, absolutely. But no, I mean, we've produced some good players that kind of helped us survive in the Championship over the years since the 2011 relegation. I mean, I think back to the likes of Mitch Hancocks and Callum Riley and Will Packwood and people like that, players that you forget even played for us, but they did a job, didn't they, when they were asked to?
Oh, it's scary to think how much, we're one of the better academies when you look into it. Back when I was there, the likes of, Jack Butland, who's doing fantastic now at Rangers, Jordan Much, that you don't hear much about anymore, but was another one, Nathan Redmond, obviously. There's tons and tons of kids that everyone go, wow, actually they've had either a high career, or you've heard of them and they play somewhere else. You obviously going to go look at the Bellinghams, haven't you? For instance, Birmingham's the making of both Bellinghams, and Jude's obviously the top of his game at Real Madrid, and there's talks now that Joe might be going to Chelsea next year. Yes, so, there's tons and tons of ability that we bring through. The unfortunate thing is right now is that I think they're not going to throw them into the deep end of League One, because we have spent money and we have got a decent enough squad to do what we need to do. But I think if there was injuries, or for instance, when we play those 3 games in a week at the end of the season, depending on where we are and if we've already claimed promotion, you may see, a couple of the younger ones come in and at least get on the bench, I think.
But we've still got Junior Dixon as well. Is he still?
No, he went on loan.
He went on loan somewhere, but he's still our player, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still our player.
Yeah.
He went on, but I think, to be honest, Paul, I think he's only scored like 1 goal in 10.
Yeah.
He hasn't scored many at all.
Yeah, I think he got a couple recently. It's not great, his record, but it is slightly better than that now. He had a bit of a burst in the last fortnight, scoring a couple of games.
Yeah.
I think with him, like you look at the Rooney era, for instance, and I get that Rooney wasn't any good for us at all. But for a manager who was one of the best strikers in England in his career, for him to turn around and go, this kid's not ready, he knows as a striker what you need as a striker. And you can't trust Rooney for many things that he did with Blues, but I think you can certainly trust that take on who's good enough to play in that position.
It's mad to say that Jordan James probably played his best football for us, didn't he, as the 10 under Rooney? Quite purple patch, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Meredith, what difference does the Cat 1 status make? So we're obviously still awaiting an answer as to whether the club have gained Cat 1 status again. But in terms of the youngsters, embedding them in, as I understand it, when you get Cat 1, you get the opportunity to play stronger teams in what you class as your under-21s or reserve squad, however it wants to be called. But does it also make a difference, do you think, in terms of getting the players through?
I think it makes a difference in getting players to the club, because I think, like every player, everyone's looking to be at the best, the best facilities, the best places with the best coaches and stuff like that. So I think if you're selling Cat 1 over Cat 2 or 3, then obviously you've got a better chance. In regards to the ability of some of the players, I don't think it's a massive difference. Like I say, Blues haven't been in Cat 1 now for the last few years, but I still see us as we still play in the Premier League Academy against the teams that are in Cat 1. And I still see us producing, pretty good players. And you've got Category 1 teams, got Category 1 academies like Derby County and people like that, again, no one would really think that those academies are going to be the best academies in the country, but that's what they are. And a lot of it is down to, I think, the facilities that you do, the coaches that you have within your organization and all that sort of stuff. I think that's what let us down, was when the Chinese didn't fund it and we lost a lot of what we had. Wast Hills was never the best training ground for the academy anyway. That's where I think we started to lose our status, but I don't think we've ever lost our quality, even when we did lose that.
If we don't get it now, then I'm baffled why not, because I've walked around the site myself recently and it's absolutely amazing now.
Yeah, they will get it, and now they've got the American owners and whatever else, and you've got people actually going in there and saying, yeah, we're backing this 100%. There's no doubt that they'll get it. I think the problem was the rumor was when the Chinese were there that they're going to cut the academy completely. And some of the players were even receiving letters. I know some of the players personally, even the younger ones, they're receiving letters saying that there may not be an academy anymore. They may go down the situation of just having like an A team like Brentford did. Yeah. Which I think was a disaster. But that's what, and that obviously when the Premier League academies are looking at that, it was no brainer to get rid of us out of the Category 1 position. But yeah, I think fully by next year we'll be back in there and we'll be pushing kids back through again.
Yeah, going back to Joe, going to Chelsea potentially, I do worry for him there, because you don't want him to finish up like, Danny Drinkwater when he went there, and Dewsbury Hall and Do you know what I mean? I know Dewsbury Hall came off the bench at the weekend, but he's getting very, very little football now. You know, so you have to be careful sometimes when you make these moves, especially to clubs like Chelsea, because they don't seem to. They buy players and they just don't use them, do they? Sometimes, you know, they don't play at all.
Selfishly, I've got to be honest, I wouldn't care because we've got a 15% sell-on clause of whatever they go for. Yeah. I know it sounds really harsh because I agree with you, Paul. If you move, you want to play.
Yeah.
But actually, we don't make the decision. The agent doesn't make a decision. The person that makes the decision is the player. So if they go, you know, oh, fee's been agreed. Oh, yeah, I can get a decent salary. I'm going. They're going.
Yeah.
You know, it's really... I know what you're saying. You want him to go, and if he's going to move on, he's got to go to a team where he can actually be guaranteed some football and actually get himself out there in the Premier League. You know, the Crystal Palaces, for example, that were linked with him in January, you'd have thought that actually that may have been a good move for him.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. So, but selfishly, let him go wherever he wants to go. But one thing I do know, his parents will look after him the same as they did with Jude.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what they're about. You know, they want to see their sons progress. They don't want to see them sitting, going for a big play and just sitting there.
I think it's a classic story of putting him back. He'd probably be a type of player that will go for, you know, X amount of £1 million, and then he'll end up going back to Sunderland or at least going back to the Championship for 12 months to continue his development because, you know, Chelsea want to be his parent club. They want to give him the best they can within the training environment and stuff like that and training again with the players that they have. I don't see him getting in the first team straight away, and I think it's a prime example of, you know, go and train with the 21s like Raval's doing with Brentford, but you're also going to go and play, you know, back with Sunderland in the Championship all year round or somebody else.
Yeah. It would be nice, though, Mark, to see, as a Blues fan, obviously, to see Job and Jude representing England in midfield in like 3 or 4 years. But saying that, though, Jordan Henderson will probably get called up when he's like 39.
Let's not talk about that England squad.
Oh my God, what was that? What is that all about?
What's all that about? Yeah,
I think it's for experience.
Experience of what though?
Well, he's been there, done that. Serial winner.
Serial winner. I don't know.
He's won loads of stuff at Liverpool, didn't he?
Did it? Oh, okay, he's won the Champions League. He's won the Premier League once. He's won the Champions.
Yeah, but I just think that he's got the experience. Or else. I get. Like, obviously, I was shocked when I saw his name. Maybe he's playing all right for Ajax. I don't know, but I just think he might have done it for experience because we haven't got a lot of experience in that area.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, Jude Bellingham has won the Champions League. He's only 22. He's won the Spanish League.
Yeah, Jude, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like man. Foden, is Foden in there?
Yeah.
How's he in there? Because he hasn't played well, has he?
Well, maybe his experience. Again, he's a serial...
Maybe, that's what I mean. So I think...
I don't know. Do we need Jordan Henderson, really, in that squad?
No, not really, but I'm just saying it might be...
I think the problem is you have to pick too many players, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
I think you're given a thing of picking, 23 players or whatever it is, and there's not 23 players you want to pick. You pick 18, then you're going to pick probably the 18 informed players that are going to...
Do you need 4 goalkeepers?
No.
You just don't need that. You're forced to do it, unfortunately.
The thing is, we brought Tuchel in now on this 18-month contract, and he's not going to really think of the future, is he? He's going to think of the here and now and what he's got to do to win a World Cup in 18 months. So is Jordan Henderson really going to be in that squad when he's 36?
We all hope.
It's worrying if he was.
You know what? I want a squad that's going to get us there. I couldn't care less what they do when they've got it. When they get there, they can go and win it. Doesn't matter who's picked, but they need to get us there first.
I think the Blues want to get us out of the group, Craig, to qualify. Yeah.
But is that not again an opportunity and one of the reasons why he may have actually done it? Is he giving it that opportunity to get these players through, get us out the group and get us out as quick as possible?
Yeah,
because that's what he's going to want to do. He wants to guarantee it as quick as possible.
Yeah, and
then afterwards, then perhaps we start bedding these youngsters in and giving them an opportunity. But look at the under-21 squad. Tell me who from the under-21 squad you pick now straight away to go into your England full squad.
Right, Branthwaite.
Wharton.
Yeah.
Wharton.
2.
I mean, Gibbs White I would have, but now he's thankfully back in.
Yeah.
Is Elliot Anderson in the under-21s as well? No. Is he not?
No.
I don't know.
McAtee's a bloke I like.
Yeah, he's a good player, Al, yeah. And Hudson-Odoi as well, on current form as well.
Let's say that under 21 squad right now for this. They're playing at the Albion this weekend.
Playing at the Albion, yeah.
In Portugal, yeah.
That's an exciting squad right there of players.
Absolutely.
You know, the talent in there. I don't think Stansfield gets a nod over half of those strikers he's got. I hope he gets a little bit of game time, but you know, he's got a really, really, really good squad throughout.
Liam Delap as well. I mean, he was unlucky not to get a call up. You know, I think he probably needs
Conor Gallagher missed out as well, didn't he?
Conor Gallagher was scoring against Real Madrid last week, for God's sake.
I know, and he don't get lucky.
Yeah, moving on anyway. This is not an England show, is it? But any comments, Chris, or questions from the on the shout boxes?
There's loads on YouTube. Thor's first touch is crap, and he struggles to recover. Second responsive touches, almost bumbles his play. That's from Englishman Blue Nose.
I think Thor, he seems to have frozen since he's come back in. We need to thaw him out.
I know, yeah.
We need to get back the play we had at the start of the season, because it's definitely there. I mean, the play at the start of the season, I thought, had Premier League potential, never mind Championship.
It reiterates that by saying historically Thor progressed out from central midfield into the 6-yard box.
You know, I watched Iceland with him in play somebody, and they were awful. And he was hooked before half time. And from that moment on, he's not been the same player for anybody.
Do you think he's come back early, though? Because all of a sudden, he was out, and then the one time, all of a sudden, he was back.
Yeah.
Do you think he's come back too early?
Yeah, I think he's one of those players carrying. I really do think he is one of those that's carrying an injury. Because you're right, we haven't seen him as a player since he's come back, and he was rushed back into it as well, because we had the injury that resulted in him coming on for that longer period of time. I mean, he's in the first game back in the squad, and then he hasn't been really, you know, I won't say droppable, because he was, but there hasn't been, I don't think, that type of player to kick him off at the moment and to keep him away. This rest
I would have Dowd in the middle. I would have played Dowd at 10. I would have played Hansen on the left and Hansen on the right.
Yeah, that's a shame. I don't like Dowell and Williamson together in the same team. I think one or the other for me. They're both very similar to each other in a way.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm not giving up on Williamson altogether, though. I do think that he's only young. He's got potential. There is a player in there. So
Championship will see the best of him, because he floats into some areas and he does make a difference. I just think that, I mean, is he being picked for Iceland?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's picked.
Yeah, so maybe he might just need some time away.
Yeah. Anyway,
faces and then get back in.
Yeah.
Rick Graves has said exactly the same thing there, Claire. He's just fancy you're the best of Thor in the championship.
Yeah. You get the higher you got the leagues, the more time and space you get on the ball, don't you?
Yeah.
I think a few of them be like that, to be honest, Paul. I think there's a few will be really coming to their own next season.
The only thing that will be different, though, is the pace of the championship will be quicker than League One. Well, because obviously you're up against better quality players, so hopefully
we need more pace. 100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If we are going to make a marquee signing, for me, I've said it on here before, that for me it'd have to be a right winger. I'd love us to see. You know, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but it would be nice to sign somebody that could play down the right with pace. That's as good as Jay is through the middle. You know what I mean?
We need someone who can shoot and cut in. Because I mean, like Hansen the other day.
Yeah.
It was. He got like half a yard. Just hit it. Like what? That he can bounce off anybody. We might have somebody running in, and then he would cut back and pass it back, and it was so infuriating.
If I could bring one player back from the past into this team now, it'd probably be Seb Larson down the right, or Chris Burke, or someone like that.
Yeah.
You know, somebody perfect like that on the right that can cross the ball, score goals. You know, cuts in on his left, can score with his left, can score with his right. You know, and they're both far too good for this division, but so's Jay, you know what I mean? You can kind of like bring them in and sell the project to them, and they can be with us for the future. But unfortunately, they're both in their 40s now.
There is one player that's caught my eye this year, but you'll shout at me when I tell you his name, where he played. It's the lad at Rangers, Cherney, the Moroccan. He is something special. He does cut in on the left and he scores goals. He's probably the weakness he has got is he's got a right foot for standing up, basically. But he or somebody of his ilk would be perfect for us.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, also good to see Tom Wagner at 10 Downing Street, Craig.
Yeah, that was a great picture, that was. Yeah. Brilliant picture.
I mean, it just goes to show that, you know, we don't have to have things thrown in front of us all the time to know that stuff is actually progressing with the new stadium and the sports quarter. And I think it's fair in the current environment to say, you know, he's talking an awful lot around not just the sports quarter and what that's going to bring, but he's on about the city as a whole and the transportation. There's just so much that I think has got to happen for this, that if we don't hear anything and we're not told this is what the stadium's going to look like, this is when we're going to start, etc., don't panic. You know, it's brilliant that he's just putting himself front and centre. The mayor of Birmingham is going with him. That, first of all, is a good sign, because when you think about what's happened in Manchester and Andy Burnham getting involved with, you know, the Manchester United bid and everything else for their new stadium, when you get that sort of backing and when you get those people behind you, that's when you'll see more momentum. Jokingly, the amount of people that have been saying, next thing, you know, Wagner's going to be Lord Mayor of Birmingham. It's because of what he's trying to do. But actually, he's trying to bring the best. He's trying to bring the best to Birmingham. Full stop. The city is going to benefit, and as long as we don't look like the Butlins in Birmingham, as Manchester United's new stadium looks like it's going to be the Butlins at Manchester. You know, it's as simple as that. You know, but yeah, brilliant to see him there. Also good that it made all of the press. It wasn't just local. You know, the national press are taking more and more and more of an interest in Birmingham now than ever before. Well, I'll say that. Whenever there was trouble, they used to be there, but they've never done it in the good times. And now they are beginning to latch into that. But the other thing is, Wagner's still about. Yeah, we don't see him as much down at St Andrews, but that's because he's on to big things. He's trying to build something now where it's just going to be absolutely huge. It's going to be superb when it is done. And yeah, we as fans will be involved. They've promised that from the very outset. They're not just going to design something because they like it. They want the fans' involvement in it. They want the fans' input. It will come.
Mm-hmm. Shall we address the elephant in the room now?
Oh, God, hang on. Let me just get the popcorn.
Elephants all right. I know which one we're talking about.
We've got a few animals, haven't we?
So I'm not fully in touch with this, I'll be honest. I've been pretty busy this last couple of weeks. So Claire or Craig, the floor is yours. You can tell us, for anyone who might not know what's happened, obviously in relation to the OSC and I believe the club we're using, is it Northfield and Redditch OSC to... was it to well, I'll let you take over.
It was to do with the flag.
Craig, the floor is yours.
Right. So I'm going to say, first of all, as an OSC lead, last Wednesday was one of those days that I never, ever, ever want to have repeated because it was extremely tough. But the club made the statement and explained that they had invited and asked the Northfield and Longbridge group to be part of something that they were planning at Wembley. It was
it wasn't Redditch then. I'll stand corrected if it wasn't.
No, Redditch were not quoted in there at all. It was Northfield and Longbridge.
Okay.
And within that statement, it was arranging something at Wembley that was to be a surprise for the fans on the day. Now, I can say I was asked by people, not just in my group, but outside of it, what's the surprise? I don't know. I don't want to know. It's a surprise. So, you know, whatever it's down to is whatever they were planning. Now, there were multiple screenshots from social media put out there, of which it just, well, it escalated, didn't it? It exploded over a very short space of time in regards to the things that were there. The one thing that we can say is the club made the statement. Nobody got priorities. Nobody was taking control of tickets. Nobody was given, tickets to just give away to people willy-nilly. They were season ticket holders that were asked to be part of whatever it is that is being planned. Now, that's what the club put out there. Now, I understand totally the frustration because people were seeing these different things being put out there, and it was across every single social media channel. It didn't just stop at that, though. It was WhatsApp. It was normal text messages. Like me alone, in the space of 3 hours, 380 messages hit my phone. All right? But to clarify, again, to go back to the announcement that was made, they were asked to be part of something with the club, and it was season ticket holders only. It was 200 fans to be involved. That was the message that was put out. That's what we've been given as an OSC as well. In terms of other things, yes, there was an awful lot said. Too much speculation, too much rumour, too much, in terms of people speculating all these different things that supposedly the OSC are getting, right? I can honestly say I know absolutely nothing. And I'm on camera here, I'm being recorded, I'm out there for everybody. But I know nothing. And that's the way it continues to be.
But two questions from me. Is the OSC a good idea? First question, number one. And number two, do any other clubs do it? I've never heard of it before.
Lots of other clubs do it. Arsenal do it. Man United do it. A lot of the big clubs do it. Now, I went for a meeting on Thursday for the men's match day experience. It was the elephant in the room. It was the thing we spoke about for at least half an hour, 45 minutes. There was obviously, all I've heard is there was things to do with the flag that we all knew about. But the thing is, £1,000 for a flag wasn't going to cut it. There are going to be things going on in Wembley, inside and outside, that they're keeping quiet from us because they know what our group are like, and they know that we like to put it all over social media and tell you all. But I don't know anything else. They never really said much. But I do think wording of things needs to be very clear. I think that's what caused a lot of the issues.
Yeah.
I know from like Craig, for example, Solihull didn't have a clue. Like generally people asking me to investigate and I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So, but there's loads of stuff going on. All I know is that if you are in a priority, you are guaranteed a ticket. There's 6,000 tickets for the Lincoln thing. And I can't wait to hear the end of this Lincoln. Honestly, I hope they don't go up anytime soon because I don't want to hear about Lincoln again.
I don't think you got any worries there.
Yeah, like, honestly. But I just think that, yeah, I do think it's, what's the word? I do think it's made a bit of a divide in the fan base. But I do think that more people need to come out and explain what's going on. Obviously, I mean, Craig, you knew as much as I did because it just kind of went all over. But if you are guaranteed a ticket, if you are in a priority, that's what we got told. We've got loads left, then there should be enough for general sale. So that's all I'm going to say on the matter.
And Paul, to come back on one of your other questions there, about the OSCs and are they a good idea? So they launched just over 12 months ago for the vast majority. Now, when you think about what's happened a lot over the past 12 months, so the first thing is the work in the community. So there's absolutely shed loads of stuff across all of the groups that's taken place in terms of bringing the community together. One of the biggest things was prior to that first game of the season where we got together as OSC groups and we did the big clean-up around St Andrews. Now, there was fans from all over, all groups involved with that. to get the people coming out on the streets and thanking us was just absolutely amazing, and brought the club together with the people that live immediately in the vicinity. But there's also the fundraising work for the community that's taken place. So thousands, not just thousands, but tens of thousands of pounds being raised through the sleep out at Christmas.
Yeah.
That was then matched by Nighthead as part of it. Now, that was part of the groups coming together. So Solihull, as an whole, I can say now, raised over £5,000 for that. And that's just purely for the foundation and that area. But there's also different things gone on as well that's happened throughout. So mental health clinics were set up and arranged working with the foundation. And they were part of what was set up as part of the OSC groups and encouraged to do it. We've had people, both OSC and non-OSC, going down to the ladies' games, being involved with being part of the crowd down there, getting involved with all the stuff that happens pre-games, helping to support with like the posters being handed out and encouraging families and everybody down to the ground. We've had better communication than ever before between the fans and the club. So after every single game, every OSC group is asked for feedback, and those things are acted upon. So some examples. Claire raised on our last show about the state of the ladies' toilets and the way things were within the Tilton. Things have been worked on. That had already been raised about the COP. They were worked on. They were acted upon. The sound system, right? So at the start of the season compared to where we are now, the sound system is not just 10 times better, it's 100 times better.
Easy.
And that came because there was constant feedback. The foods and the drinks, the stuff that happens outside, the involvement of the club around half-time entertainment and the people involved, all becomes...
Trying to get the shed back, we are trying.
We want the shed back, yeah, we do.
Oh.
But also, the other thing is, I can honestly say, I have never, ever felt more part of the fan base than what I do now, because we get the opportunity to bring people together. So
I guess one good thing, Craig, as well, that comes out of that, there'll be people that go down the blues with their dads, their moms, and they would have lost someone they love that they go to the blues with. And I guess, on the back of the OSC, they've probably met new people that they'll go to the game with. I mean, me now, I can't go to Wembley with my dad or my daughter. Do you know what I mean? Because my daughter's on a school trip on the 13th of April, and my dad is at my uncle's 70th birthday. So I'm going to be riding solo or going with them. I could go with some mates, but, the family I sit next to have kindly offered to take me with them. You know what I mean? So things like that, we all come together, don't we? And I do get that. I do get that side to it. But I just never heard of it before this season. That's all.
It's massive, absolutely massive in the likes of Man City. You go to the Man City ground, and on one of their stands as you're walking in, it's basically got the names of all of their supporters clubs on the stand. That's how big it is to them and their massive involvement. They're like, when you look at their structure and where we've started to where we are now, we are still learning. We are only 12 months old. Some groups are not even 12 months old.
Yeah.
But what's been done during that period of time is huge. And the final thing I'd say, we talk about bringing people together. So once a month, groups have meetings, and they have meetings at various points. They might just be in a local pub, but that local pub may be full of blue noses that have never once got together and actually started just having a chat, but now they do. Yeah. It's a couple of hours out where they can just sit down and have a natter. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it. I've been all over Solihull, Acox Green and Shirley, bringing people together. And on Wednesday, my group, because we got over 400 members now, actually has the pleasure of having Craig Gardner and Jeremy Dale join us to talk to us about what's going on at the club, what the future holds, and also the fans just to have a chat. And then the last things, we've done things like bleed kits. We've funded bleed kits, saving people's lives. next month, I'm going to be doing, and we'll be the first of the groups before it goes out to others, to do training on the use of defibrillators, CPR, and bleed kits. Now, that could save somebody's life outside the ground, but also could save somebody's life as they're walking outside of work. It's something you pick up that's there, that's given to people for nothing. So the OSCs, not just because I'm leading one, and I'll talk to anybody about it, they are great. They have worked. We have made mistakes. There's not one person that will say we haven't made mistakes. We have made mistakes. But there's one thing, we learn from them. And with the support and continued backing of the club, the OSC will become bigger and better. It's over 5,000 members now in 12 months. It's across the world. People that have said to you, have we got supporters in Kenya? You'd have gone, don't be so stupid. We have a supporters group in Kenya.
And Dallas.
I'm Warrington.
Just all over the States, Canada,
Crew,
South Africa, France, Germany, you know, Denmark, Sweden, Thailand, Japan, Australia.
Is it just you in there, Mark, in Dallas?
No, there's a couple of us. There's about 6 of us now, I think.
Yeah, really, yeah.
We're growing, mate.
It's almost a mob.
Brilliant. So
I'm always free to talk to anybody around the OSCs, and please just reach out, because I'm happy to run through any of the details, support where I can, and hey, you know, like I say, it's about bringing people together, about travelling together, drinking together, and just being fans together, and it does work.
Yeah.
Thing is, Craig, whenever I ring you just cough and cut me off.
That's because you're not part of my OSC. Yours is on a bar as well, mate.
Oh, fair enough. Well, let's get a drink out of it.
Anyway, how do we follow that then?
Wow.
Chris, you got Barnets?
Yeah. Just before that, there's a good one from Dave Twine. Has anybody seen the post that Brentford FC have started? Every seat counts. If a season ticket holder misses 4 games in the season, they lose the right to renew their season ticket. Wow.
Yeah, Man United got that as well.
Really? Wow.
You'll be surprised. So when we sometimes talk about, like, obviously all the initiatives, there are so many seats that, like, literally there's more people who go to each individual game than get a season ticket than you think. And there's so many people that have bought a season ticket but never been.
No.
Really?
Like, yeah, and it's more than you actually realise. Like, we were shocked because we were like, oh, if you got a season ticket, and they're like, yeah. But there's so many people that actually just buy game on game and will spend 30 quid.
Yeah.
God.
But I think there's a lot of people that buy a season ticket and don't go.
Yeah. No, yeah, there is.
Well, there's people who live abroad do that, don't they? They just let us, you know.
Obviously, I got to come in here. The reason I buy a season ticket, because I'm an old age pensioner, for 270 quid, right? I only need to attend 10 matches and I got my money back, right? I've paid. So 13 matches to me are free. Now, I don't make anywhere near those 13 matches. But the reason I still do it is because we have a season like this where it says on my, you know, the deal is you can go to as many games as you like, right? And there's a seat always waiting for you. And if by any chance we get into a big game, like a final or a semi-final or whatever, you, as a season ticket holder, first on the list. Now, that's the agreement I've lived under since I had a season ticket 40 years ago. Obviously, in those days, I used to attend every game. But still in the back of my mind was, well, I'll keep buying it because one day we might be in a final. And certainly we were in 2 back in the 90s. And I had no problem getting a ticket. Now, Same deal, still same season ticket, still says the same conditions on it. I'm having all this trouble. Now, a lot of that is because I'm so far away, and like you explained about the being able to print the tickets and all that, but nobody's told me that. You've told me.
It was on the app. It was on all the information the club sent out. And also,
I'm 74, darling. I don't do that.
Just read what it says, and then contact the ticket office, then they can help you.
Yeah, but when you ring the ticket office, you are 145th in the queue.
Then if you get a call back, they'll phone you back in half an hour.
Yeah.
I was Tuesday afternoon last week. I was number 3. I phoned at 2:00 in the afternoon. You're number 3. I waited half an hour and it never changed. Right, so I pressed the callback button. Never got a return. 5:10, still hadn't had a word from them, and I was a 3rd. So I've got no chance of being 43rd, have I? Yeah. The problem is when the system goes wrong, and are they picking on me? No, they're not picking on me. It's just your bad luck, to be honest. But it's so annoying. I was number 1 in that queue for the Arsenal game. I walked up to a round of applause because I was the first one to buy me a ticket.
My brother was number 9.
90 quid it cost me, and I sat there. She showed me a thing. Where would you like to sit, sir? I would like to sit there.
That was my mate this time. Terry did it. Well done, Terry, for being number 1 in the queue.
My brother was number 9 for an hour and 12 minutes this morning.
So you got the Barnets, Chris?
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, get these then. These are both ex-players. Both played for Birmingham City. Not at the same time, obviously. Well, they might have. No, they didn't. Anybody got any clues? Any ideas?
Can I see it?
I don't know, can you?
I can't see it.
There you have them.
I'm waiting for it to turn up.
Too bright.
Too bright again. I can't.
Oh, that's better. That's
yes,
better.
I can see that.
Oh, that's gone now. Oh, yeah.
Let's have a look, Craig.
Is number 1 Darren Pearce?
It is not. I can see why you said Darren Pearce.
Is it what's his name, Connor?
Nope.
Number 1, Dan Byrne.
Well done, Mr. Merrill.
Is number 2 Quadru?
Number 2, David Bentley.
No.
Daniel Derrida.
I think number 2 might be the difficult one.
It's too shinny.
Nope. Nobody on Facebook has got it so far. Oh, Chris Lloyd on Facebook has got it. Well done. I didn't think you get that.
Wow, that's got to be a prize.
Karen Carney.
Hold on, you never said women were involved.
They play for Blues.
You should know.
Chris Lloyd actually got Darren Carney as well there.
Oh, well done. Well done.
We're a modern club.
We're a modern club.
I know, but we need to make it obvious and
We're all Blues. We're all Blues.
Okay, and then the Who?
Oh, the Who. Here we go then. Right, and okay. Oh, did I put it on? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay, give us a second, and we'll get it lined up. The last one. It should be. There we go. Okay then. This is an interview from about might be 5 years ago, but here we go.
So it probably worked for me, but I was certainly sort of it wasn't all on my terms. So
Richard Beale.
Oh, get stuffed.
Sorry, a good
I was going to say, let's give somebody a chance. Yes, it was.
I heard the get stuff, but I didn't hear the answer.
Richard Beale.
Richard Beale. And that, ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't play for Barnet, but he's Barnet, which doesn't include Dave Barnet because he didn't play for Barnet.
And he actually has a Barnet.
Okay, you got a quiz for us as well?
Oh, are you sure? No.
We want the jingle. We want the jingle.
Oh, I've got the jingle with me today. I've got the jingle's on for next time. By the way, we're not on next week, but we're on the week after.
Oh yeah, we're having an international break.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a week off to watch Jordan Henderson.
So top of the league at the moment is Paul Hipkiss. So on 3 points, which is what you've got to try and beat. Okay, and I've named the quiz the universally challenged.
What is this quiz? I don't think I've ever done the quiz on
you
here.
haven't done it? Of course. Okay, so it's figures
no,
on. It's
Mark, you were off as well, so you don't know.
now.
Basically, I won it last time, didn't I?
Yeah, no, yeah. No, it's fingers on buzzers. Now, what I was going to do, I was going to give you all an individual buzzer. Like I was going to give Paul was going to say "Unbelievable," Claire was going to say "It's me, mum," and things
Mark
like that.
was going to say, "I've got no friends,"
But I haven't got time to do that now. So here we go. Question 1 of 6. Fingers on buzzers.
Hold on, you didn't explain it. Just when this is
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answers the
Just
question
answer.
first.
Yeah.
I haven't got a buzzer.
Earl was the winner last time, but
What's the buzzer? Do we just shout?
Just shout,
Just
yeah.
shout.
Just shout the answer.
our
Just shout the
names.
answer.
Our names. Apart from, but Robe, you shout Robe.
Okay,
No.
yeah, that'd be better.
Okay.
Because then I'll know who it is then.
Mark.
Robe. Oh, sorry.
Right, are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
According to Gola, what colour shirt has the highest win rate for games in England?
Oh,
Red.
no.
Paul.
red.
Who said it first?
I said it first.
Claire said
No,
red
you didn't.
first.
I know I said red.
I think Claire did say it first. So Claire's that got
I
that
would
point.
go with red.
Okay, then.
I think that's favouritism.
Right then. I'm going to turn my headphones up. There we go.
I don't think it's blue, is it?
No, it was
It's
red.
red.
It was red. It was red, yeah. Who was the right back who won a gold winners medal at the UEFA Women's Euro 2022?
Lucy Bronze.
Well done.
Didn't say his name, Chris. Didn't say his name.
That was
Yeah.
quick.
It doesn't count.
No,
I was
did
going
you
to say Lucy Bronze, but I was like,
No.
like,
I think we're gonna drop that.
Go whoever shouts it first.
yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, here we
Right.
go. Which question 3? Quiet, please. Which TalkSport presenter began his career in the media reporting on Peterborough United?
Oh, Alan Brazil.
No, what's his name? The ginger-headed one with the glasses. He's a plonker.
Adrian Durham.
Well done, Paul.
Yeah,
Well done,
Thank
Paul.
you.
You've done it again. You're 2 points there. Come on, the rest of you.
Richard Beale.
Question 4. Who rented Brendan Rodgers' house from him after he was sacked as
Clark.
Liverpool manager? Well done, Claire. Straight in.
What did you say?
Oh, it's 2-all this one.
Clippity clop. Here we go. Whose mum said, "Why didn't you just blast it there?" after missing a penalty at the Euro 96 semi-final against Germany?
Gareth Southgate.
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 It was Paul, I'm afraid. Paul, you got it first. By a whisper.
What's a mum?
Right then,
That's a good
final
point, actually. We don't know
question.
what a mum is. Can you explain, please, Chris?
You-
Oh,
you
sorry,
again,
it should have
please.
been mum. Yes, I didn't mind.
That's better.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
Well. Here we go. Last question. By what name is the West Stand at Old Trafford host to the most
Stretford
loyal?
End.
Stretford End.
Alex Ferguson.
it was Claire. It wasn't Claire. It was Craig. Sorry.
Oh.
Well done.
Not
So Paul
East.
wins. Claire second,
Yeah.
and Craig.
Rogues last, as
Yeah,
always.
look, Rogues last.
I'm going to throw a Rogue last 15 in
Go.
because we've got 2 weeks off.
Okay, then go on then.
Anything to do with football and breakfast cereal. I'll start us off with Snap, Crackle, and Clop.
How about Declan Rice Krispies?
That'll do.
Yeah.
Well, that went down well, didn't it?
Yeah. Richard Beale.
That was
Richard Beale.
Where's that Tumbleweed gone, man?
Is it?
Got to give the listeners a chance, though. Mind you, it's still very quiet. Nobody's come in
Has,
yet.
Yeah.
is it anything to do with breakfast?
Yeah.
Anything to do with breakfast cereals and football.
Cereal? I only know 2. You said
JJ
it-
and Cocoa Pops.
You must have had more than 2 cereals, Al, in your life.
Come on now. What did
I've had lots of things in my life that I can't remember the name of.
I've been waiting for this one. So Ian Clayton, you do get it. You are the first and won't be the last. We've daily had a bowl of cereal.
Wait for that one.
David Granola.
I love
No,
that.
that's a good one.
Cereal, though.
David Granola.
There must be somebody called out.
I'm questioning granola being a cereal, though.
It is a cereal. It's a breakfast cereal.
No, it's not.
What is it in America?
It's a granola.
Granola's cereal. It's a breakfast, isn't it? Yeah.
So if you eat it in tea time.
David Weetabix.
Kellogg's, Phillips.
It better be a cereal after all.
What about Shruton Fibre? As in Robin.
Yeah. What about
Phillips for Calvin Phillips?
What about Muesli Clark?
Shreddy Lundberg.
Shreddy Lundberg.
That's clever, that one is.
Or are these coming from your mind?
These are coming from lots of different.
Google and Siri are doing absolute wonders.
I've got names with cereals. I do this every time because I don't think of any.
Titus brambled eggs from Andy Boner.
That's definitely not a cereal.
Can't we just do breakfast?
All right, anything to do with breakfast then? Anything you'd have at the breakfast table to do with football?
Still can't think of one. Yeah.
Whilst they're coming through, I'm going to talk about the ladies.
Go on,
Yeah,
then.
I'll do that, Craig. That was next on my list.
So, another hard-fought win yesterday. Some beautiful football played at times yesterday. Southampton put up a real fight, though. So, second half of the game really brought it to us, but a penalty and a decent header in the first half helped us over the line with 2-1 in the end victory. Keeps us top of the table. Not just that, but the Lionesses, God, it was gut-wrenching. They scored again late on. They're the Wickham of the ladies' division. That's what I'm calling them. But they're scoring late on. So they got their win. So it keeps them just behind us. They've got a game in hand, but we do have a much better goal difference. Now, yesterday was, again, a great game for getting families and groups, schools, various different other football teams as well, down to St Andrews at United Park to watch the game. So again, thank you, Claire, for your school's support. But yesterday, Claire's team was just part of us. Claire's school was just part of 450 people that, again, to come back to the OSC, actually, we arranged for those people to come down to the game and to enjoy it. Also, the games, and then what the kids do, when they came in, it's all the entertainment outside. Then when you get inside, I was handing out the posters of the players. What people didn't realise is the difference that there is between a ladies' game and a men's game. And that's the family atmosphere, first of all. Still really strange to walk out with a pint in your hand and be able to sit in the stands. But also at the end of the game, the huge difference is it's not just a group of players that will walk around the pitch, clap the fans and walk off. They actually come and interact. And seeing the smiles on their faces, Amy's face as she walked around shows how much people getting down to the ground helps to support and promote and increase not just the attendances, but the following full stop of the ladies' game. So watch out for some further incentives leading up to the last two games at St Andrews Park, and St Andrews United Park. We've got Durham in a few weeks' time. And then what could end up being the key match. Last game of the season, 4th of May, 2 o'clock kickoff. We are playing the London City Lionesses. So there, a moment could come into that game and we could be equal on points. They could be within touching distance of taking the title away from us. We could be in touching distance of taking the title away from them. Swings and roundabouts still to come. But the 4th
And it
of May
might be the awards then as well.
It may well be. So it's going to
Could be 4 points clear.
Huge. It could be huge. And that, let's not forget, one place, to reiterate, one place to get up into the Women's Super League. And not just that, some key decisions still to be made as to whether relegations happen from the Women's Super League over the next few seasons, or actually whether they freeze relegations, but still allow teams to be promoted to increase the amount of games and the amount of teams in the league. Same for the Women's Championship. But we don't want to be there. We want to be in the Women's Super League, and we can do that by having everybody's backing. I said yesterday that I'd love nothing more than to go into that last game of the season, either with it secure or in our hands, and actually having St Andrews full. It can be done. We took over 30,000 people to Wembley for the FA Cup final when we were there. So there is no reason why we can't have those people down there. And it's not expensive. £8 for an adult, £2 for a kid. Right? So come down, get the support, watch out for the offers and the incentives that are run for schools, clubs, charities, trusts, associations. Get involved where you can. Reach out and ask us, and we'll do as much as we possibly can to support everybody down there. But it's going to be tight, but it's going to be good. And I want to be there at the end of the season celebrating a double of promotions, because what a way then to go into next season. Birmingham City ladies in the top tier, playing the likes of the Manchester Uniteds, the Arsenals, the Chelseas. It could be, if it still continues, them down the road being relegated. So, why couldn't we? Let's get up there. But please, come and support us. Watch out for more stuff. And a plea, Facebook page, BCFC Women's OSC. Give us a follow. Have a look at all the sterling stuff that Stacey is doing as the lead of the group. It has over doubled in size since she took over just over 4 weeks ago now. And you'll see the flags and everything at games and the support that we give throughout. So give us a follow if you're on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, you're on X. You'll still find us there. Again, BCFC Women's OSC. Watch out for Stephen Gill's pre-match write-ups and post-match reviews. They're absolutely superb. They're honest and open. It's what you'd expect from a fan.
Very honest.
Yeah, and you know what? At times, I read them and I'm thinking, my God, I wouldn't put that down in writing. But it's true.
I keep thinking, should we publish it?
Yeah, there are times where I do question that.
No, it's good, lad.
I've got to say it now. Sorry, before it goes, man. I've been dying to say this all the way through that, Craig. Leg on toast.
Can I just?
Was it worth
I enjoyed the football I saw for the women yesterday, and what I was so pleased to see. And listen to this carefully, Claire. We've got a giant in goal. This American girl, she is something else.
I know she is. I've seen her play before.
She's big and she looks like a goalkeeper.
She's a winner, isn't she? She's
absolutely.
World
Cup winner.
Or AD, as she asked us all to call her yesterday. World Cup winner.
They won the World Cup.
Yep.
Wow. And I tell you what, out a mile.
And she was brilliant. Brilliant before the game and after the game. Fantastic with the fans, right? They were all coming up. Can we have an autograph? Can we have a photograph? It wasn't the normal, yeah, give me your phone. It was, come on, I'll teach you how to do it. And it was typical American coming into the English game and showing us how actually social media and that side of things out in the States is massive. We're still learning. But my God, she got people involved and was just a pleasure to meet. Liv got to meet her, got a photograph with her and everything else, and she had a chat with absolutely everybody. And yeah, it's just superb. Who would have thought that we could then say we've had a World Cup winner in the men's team and a World Cup winner in the ladies' team representing Birmingham City.
That's brilliant, yeah. It's good to see an American coming to Birmingham, but I don't know about a Brummie going to America. What do you reckon, Mark Meredith?
Well,
yeah.
I have just seen... I think we might have the winner here from Pete Taylor, by the way, which is avocado Dominguez on toast.
Yeah. Predictions then. So we got Shrewsbury at home Saturday week. I'm going to start us off. I think we'll have a good rest, and I think we'll win 3-0 in the next game. Rob?
I'm going to go 2-0. I think we'll keep clean sheet. Yeah, 2-0.
Claire?
I was going to say 3-0.
Alan?
3, yeah.
Mark Meredith?
2-1.
Craig?
Shrewsbury at home, we owe them, and I still think that it's a team to take a tanking. So I'm going to go for 4, maybe 5.
Yeah. And last but not least, Chris?
Yeah, it's got to be due, hasn't it? Yeah, I'll go for a 3-0.
Okay, that'll do.
Go through some of the message board now. People have now begun to
They're woken up, haven't
to
they?
pick up with their stuff. They've definitely woken up. We've got Pete Taylor with Golden Jordan Grahams.
I like
Yeah,
that.
that was brilliant.
Ian Clayton said Barry had a greasy fry up. Andy Bono has gone for Eric Black Pudding. Andy Bono has also said he'd rather have a sausage than an egg. Dave Reynolds with Liam Porridge. Well,
That's a good one.
so we've had Weeterbix again. Declan Ricicles. We've already mentioned Avocado Dominguez on toast.
Chris, you're going to shoot me, ain't you, for doing this again?
Yeah.
There's no more coming through, but some of the score lines. Shrewsbury beating them. Bill Mint said 4-0. Mick Greaves said we're going to win 8-0.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
And we've also got the Ulster BCFC supporters. Good evening, guys, and good evening to you as well. Their match prediction is 1-0. We don't need to go full pelt, and we'll rest what we can.
Oh, crikey, it's 8 o'clock.
Is it?
Was that the final whistle?
It was, yeah. Hang on.
God, that's gone quick, that has, isn't it?
That's flew by that.
And we haven't even mentioned the special guests, so we'll save that until after. But watch out, there's a good one to come.
All I'll say is we have a very special guest coming on leading up to Wembley the Monday before.
Very special.
That'll be very relevant at the time.
There is a connection. Let's just say there's a connection.
Okay, so we've been the Tilton Talk Show. Thanks everyone for watching. I've been Paul Hipkiss, and it's good night from me, and it's good night from Claire Giblin.
It's good night from me, and it's good night from Mark Meredith.
Oh, it's good night from me, and it's a good night from the chairman.
I'm going to get it strong again. Good night. God bless from me. And it's a good night from, what's this bloke's name? Oh, Mark Adams. Who are you?
Good night from me, I suppose. I'm last and I'm always least. Yes, have a good week. Look after yourself.
You're not last. You've screwed it up now.
Before, I was going to hand over to Chris.
Oh, God, I hope I am last.
You're not last either.
Oh, no!
You didn't mess that one up as well.
I must notice. I must keep notice this. Okay, it's a good night from me, and it's a good night from Craig.
That's him.
Oh, great guess.
Saving the best till last, and it's a good night from me. Have a great fortnight off. Enjoy the first Thomas Tuchel England side, even though it's got half the players we wouldn't have selected. But come on, England, and speak to you in a fortnight's time.
Do you reckon he's on a wind-up, Tuchel? Do you reckon he's picking that squad because he's German and he just wants us to lose?
It's chocolate. It's just like chocolate as he does it.
Agent Stupid.
No, he phoned Robe and he asked Robe who he'd pick.
He did actually, yeah. I'll put the phone down.
If I was Germany manager, I'd probably still pick Lothar Matthäus and Jurgen Klinsmann.
They're probably faster than Henderson.
Oh, and on that, I'd have half a loaf of toast at breakfast.
Ah.
Hey?
Take your time.
I don't get
Bro,
that.
You stole that scarf.
Bye.
Huh?
That memento scarf, Robe.